Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good afternoon. How is everybody? I hope you're having a good day. JohnZager.com. So we're going to do a little podcast today, and we're going to talk about some psychology of different ways to handle your emotions in a stressful situation. Pretty simple. And I've got some real clear examples, well, a couple of them anyway. This isn't going to be a long podcast, so hang on there. It's actually going to be pretty informative. But I want to start off by talking about John Wick 3, the movie. Okay? Halle Berry, which is just, I don't know, in my opinion, I think a sensational actor. The story goes, and I've watched the interview a few times, and it's actually phenomenal, but here's a lady who's had a highly successful career anyway, before starring in John Wick 3, and, strong, self-confident, powerful woman, but presents herself as, how would I put it? She presents herself as, just somebody like you and I. But underneath all that, she has this incredible sensation, aura, mentality that I can do anything I want to do. So the story goes that she walked into the director's office who was doing John Wick 3. This is some time ago, okay? And I don't remember the guy's name. Somebody fairly famous, I guess, was the director. And she said, I'm Halle Berry. And the director says, I know who you are. Of course. How are you? Very nice to see you. And she sits down to have a discussion with him and proceeds to say, I want you to write me into this movie. And if you do, I will kill it for you. Whew. Talk about confidence, maturity, professionalism, the way that she sees herself in relationship to other people. I mean, she had everything going in her favor. She knew in her own head, regardless of what they throw at her, she was going to kill it, quote unquote. She was going to do a great job. She didn't even doubt that. Excuse me. So, of course, he was taken back by the statement. He later on went on to say, I don't know if she hired me or if I hired her. But it was kind of cool. So it went on for, I don't know, a short week or whatever, and the director eventually calls her back and says, you're hired. You sure you want to do this? It's going to be grueling. And, most people probably wouldn't make it through the first few days. You want to still do it? And she said, absolutely. And she went on to do, I believe it was 5 months of intense martial arts training, self-defense, different kinds of various Japanese and Asian, means to protect yourself. And she's just a small woman, small lady, and she was throwing people around that were 6'4", right? But she stuck with it, and she never gave up, and she just wanted to learn more and more and more. She was not a person who was into guns and all that kind of stuff, or violence for that matter. And this is her, kind of first action movie. And she went out, I believe, into the desert of California. There's a strategic place out there that trains actors in shooting and all kinds of stuff. And she just excelled. And her and Keanu Reeves spent long time periods out there training. And again, she just did this incredible job, right? There was not a no in her heart or thoughts about doing the movie John Wick 3. She just was already committed that it was going to happen. Okay? I want to tell you another story. And you may have seen this. I've put it on my web page, my Facebook web page, a couple times, maybe 2 or 3 times. And it's about this guy that is currently, talking right now. He's alive in his, I don't know, I guess he's probably 30s, somewhere in there. And he's telling a story about when he was a little child, 2, 3, 4 years old or whatever. He came up with some kind of bizarre cancer and really wasn't supposed to make it. I guess it was something they had not dealt with before or knew how to deal with. And it was just he and his mom. Well, he's from Australia or New Zealand. I don't remember which. But, it was mum, not mom. Down there it's mum. And he always referred to her as his mum. And she would talk to the doctors, and he's a little guy in the hospital, curtains drawn, and he's overhearing the conversation, and the doctor's trying to tell his mom that, there's not a possibility, there's little to no chance that he's going to survive. I think at one point in time the doctor even referenced to, there's, it's about 95, 96% chance he will not survive. And the mother said to the doctor, and again the little guy's behind the curtain in the bed, and he's overhearing the conversation, and the mother says, I don't want to hear what the odds are that he's not going to make it. I want to hear what the odds are that he will make it. And, there was some new experimental drug that they were going to try, and this, that, and the other thing. And the doctor finally, as the story goes, reluctantly said, I don't know, maybe there's a 3 or 4% chance that he might survive. We're not optimistic about it. And the mom said, thank you, doctor. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. I just need to know what the odds are that he will make it, not what the odds are that he won't. And of course, the mom goes back to see the kid, this is several times in the hospital, but, the kid eventually asks the mom, what's the doctor saying? And the mom says to the little boy, she says, the doctor says everything's going to be all right. Again, driving home the mentality that everything's going to be all right. Right? And that he's going to survive and go on, and he wanted to play baseball in America and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a cool story, but it's similar to the Halle Berry thing. If you put in your head everything's going to be all right, you have everything that would be required for you to survive or be successful in whatever your endeavor is. That mentality is going to get you a long way in the middle of crisis and pain and all kinds of stuff of that nature as you go through life. And it's kind of what's happening right now, right? Bringing it up to our pandemic situation. And there's a lot of people with differing views on what's really going on. And again, everybody's got a different way to spin it, right? Did they do this? Did you do this? Da-da-da-da-da. How many people actually died? How many people are dying? What are the odds if I get it? Will I survive? There's a lot of reasons, statistics and numbers that would make people all over the world scared and not have a lot of faith that everything's going to be all right. I'm going to do a sidebar for a minute. There's a deal in science. It's already been proven. It's science, Science is the kind of thing where, you have to redo the experiment 3 and 4 and 5 times, and you have to get the same result before it becomes science. So they've done some investigations on this and how old are people when they die. And this is really, really interesting. This is fascinating. And there's all kinds of science that goes on, if you lengthen your telomeres, on your DNA and that sort of thing, you can lengthen, your biological age as opposed to, your chronological age. And that works, and there's other ways to do it. But here's the deal. It's the mentality. We, here in the United States, seems that we're culturally told and we're modeled, because we see our moms and dads and aunts and uncles and grandparents and, people and friends or whatever, die around us as we grow older. And we get the idea that, when you get to be, 60 to 90 or somewhere in there, you die. That's a mentality. That's a belief system. That's a perception. Now, think about neuroscience. Based on our beliefs and our perceptions, it determines if we get a disease or not. And it also determines if we get rid of the disease or not. The beliefs and perceptions, the mentality. So it's the same kind of thing we're talking about here with this pandemic. And it's just real simple. It's real simple. We can be scared, fearful, and believe, what we're hearing. We're getting a lot of people giving us different information that's forming beliefs and perceptions in us that we're going to make it or we're not going to make it. Whether we go out and all the restrictions are lifted as much as they possibly can be, people are still going to die. If we stay at home, people are still going to die. There's all kinds of stressful and negative beliefs and perceptions that are coming our way. I maintain, and again, the last 3 days, what I've been talking about is basically how do we get through the emotions that we're having, the fear that we're having. the beliefs and the perceptions and the mentality that we have. How are we getting through all of this negative stuff? And I just want to offer. All I want to do is offer. You guys do whatever you need to do, and I respect that, and I support that, and I'm available anytime, you want to call or contact me in any way, shape, or form, and we'll just visit. I'm happy to do that. But here's my deal. What if you had a belief system and you formulated a perception and a mentality like that of Halle Berry? It's kind of like being invincible. It's kind of like saying, you know what? There's a lot of people that have contracted the virus and they haven't died. I've even seen people over 100 years old, several, that have contracted it and not died. There's even one lady that had the virus back in 1917, the pandemic back then. She survived it, got this one now. I think she was, I don't know what her age is, but pretty old. And she survived this one as well. There's a lot of people that, against all odds, because of their medical background, having this, that, and the other, problems in their lives, from lungs to heart to, various different kinds of diseases. And they all are alive. They got through it. So maybe my mentality needs to be every day when I wake up in this current pandemic that we're in, and it isn't going away, you guys. You got to face that one straight up. It's not going away. It's going to be here for months and months and months to come. That damn Dr. Fauci, whatever his name is, and Bergs, I don't want to be told by two medical doctors how to live my life. I don't want that to happen. They're saying 18 months minimum, and then we're going to have the vaccine. Well, it's not going to be 18 months for me, number one, and I have no interest, nor will I ever, take that vaccine. And there they had Gates on there again today, just demanding that everybody is going to have to, if they want to remain in America, it sounded like, they need to take the vaccine. Well, he's also the guy who says the world is overpopulated and we need to get rid of people. So, I'm not sure about that. But my mentality to get through the stress, the anger, the frustration, the wrong information is kind of along the lines of Halle Berry. My name's John Zager, and I want to be in your movie. And if you write me in, I'll kill it for you. Maybe that's the mentality we all need to start thinking about. And the second one, obviously, is the little child who had the cancer that nobody knew anything about, and the odds were just so much against him surviving. And the mom just cared about, all I need to know is that there's 1, 2, 3, 4% chance that he'll make it. That's all I need. And she goes back and she instills in the little guy a mentality, a belief system, a perception that 2 and 3 and 4% chance of survival is huge. They can't touch me when I have odds that good. So there's a lot of people trying to control you right now. And for probably quite a while down the road, there's going to be a lot of people putting the heat on you. There's the governor out of, I don't know, there's 2 or 3 of them up there, but there's one lady governor in South Dakota, I believe South Dakota, and she basically is saying, screw you guys. You know, if I start putting restrictions on the people in my state, that's the beginning of giving our rights away, our freedom away. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And that's her mentality. I really think we need to, stop, reflect, meditate on what is our mentality. Maybe we need just one person out there, 2 people, 3 people, telling us we haven't lost our freedom. We haven't lost our rights. We haven't given anything up yet. And I'm sure in the hell not willing to do that now. And you know what? I'm going to be just fine. And everything's going to be all right. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I look forward to talking to y'all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.